All right. Okay. Uh, so in the previous session, we were actually trying on one login form, and I sent two HTML files, and we previously worked on one. So what I expected us to do, some didn't get the instructions, but we were supposed to create a folder like that, and inside this folder we create login 1 and login 2, so that inside login 1 we have index and then the style.css, and then in login 2 we have its index and then the css. Now this is the one we are going to work upon. We are going to formulate a css for it, but that is how it was supposed to be. You create one folder, our login pages or any other name, and then inside that folder you create two subfolders to hold the two index files. One to hold login 1 and another one to hold login 2. Yeah, so I'll share a complete file of these ones that we did the other time, and then you will follow up those who were not around. But as of today, we are actually going to, let me close these ones. This is what we are going to work upon. This one, that is the HTML for it. And those who do not have this file, I'm going to let me open it in VS Code. And then I share it somewhere. Let me copy it, and then I'm going to give you a link. Let me use this site. I upload it somewhere so that we can actually access it. So I'm going to post it somewhere so that you can copy it and have it. Okay, let me put it inside here. I save. So this thing I'm doing is that I'm working on a live server, and I'm creating some file called content.txt, so that when you come to Summit Tech website and you click in summittech.com, can access it. So this is what I've copied to the live server, and it is what you are going to copy. So what you need is this thing here, this link here, and let me put it here so that you can access it. So this is the link. You simply click in it and then copy. Control A, Control C. You copy all this and create an index.html file. Okay. So okay, this is where we are, and this is what this is the outcome, but this is where we are. Now we are going to design something like this, a login form like this, and this is the plain HTML. This is how it looks like. So assuming that we have a file like this one, those who have not followed before, I'll talk about an ID and a class, because we use those an ID, a class, and an element. We use them in CSS because they are the ones we call, so that we can make changes respectively of where they are located. So all these things you see in this color here: the body, the div, the header, input, span. These things here are called elements because they are typically already defined. So even when we are calling them in the CSS, we don't put anything like a dot or a star or a word, a hash. We don't put anything because they are already known. They are predefined. So classes are used to map. Probably, for example, I might have another div here, and I want to put a paragraph inside here. I put the word small. So in order to edit this word small, to edit the paragraph that is holding the word small, I'll come here after the P and I write the word class. Because it is known, I'll just press enter so that this thing is auto filled there, and it takes in a parameter. So you can put any word that you will call in the CSS. So something like this. So when we come to our CSS, this is what we always call, and with a class we put a dot ask, and then with an ID we put a hash ask if this was an ID, like this ID. So with IDs we use hash, and with classes we use a dot. And these already known, the elements, we just call them. You write the word form and you edit a form. You give a form a font size, you give it font colors, you put borders, or you put them off, you do all the decorations and everything. So I'm sure that was important for us to, because when we go to CSS, they sometimes seem to be a bit complex. Okay, all right. Now, I think we can start making the CSS so that we can achieve this thing here. Can achieve this. This is what we want to achieve, but we have this skeleton. Okay. Now we shall come here in our VS Code. The first one is new file, and the second one is a folder. The other one is refresh, and the other one is collapse folder in Explorer. So our major interest is to create another file called style.css. So you can put any name or shafiq.css. It's okay. Yeah, provided that in your index.html you link to this. It is a file because it has a file name and a file extension. So we shall put it as style.css, and then we first see if we have linked, because remember we said that we have inline CSS, we have internal CSS and external CSS. Internal and inline CSS, we don't need to call them here to link. We don't need to link them because they reside inside an HTML file. But an external one, given that it is right here, so it has no connection. It has no connection if you have not linked it. There is no connection with the index.html. So what we have to do is to link it to this so that this thing reads this. And how do we do that? We come here and we say link, enter. You see, these words I've not typed them, but because this is an IDE, integrated development environment, it is configured to know whatever that is already defined. So when you type the word link, I think you can see this. I just press enter and it gives me the skeleton of how a link is supposed to be. So now this is a link and it is a style sheet because we are working with CSS cascading style sheet. So we link to the style.css, this one. You just now click in this. So it already detects it because it looks into the folder and sees it is like now this thing is always like a search. So that once you put in anything that is known or that is in the folder, it gives you the full name and its extension if it has an extension. Or if it is even a folder, it will give you the real name of the folder. So you just click in that folder, and then it will give you whatever that lies inside that folder. Even or if it is a subfolder, then it will give you whatever that lies inside that subfolder. That is what it does. Now this other one is Cloudflare. Someone must mute there so that we can communicate to each other. Okay, now this is a content referral network that links to this uh, this website, and our main interest is to get this custom CSS. It is in Font Awesome. What does Font Awesome give you? It gives us already defined CSS that contains different colorings, all already defined, in fact, defined CSS. Let's go to this link and see what is available there. So all these are CSS definitions, whatever you see here, and they will be used in our file. So we get them from Font Awesome. That is why we have the URL. We have the uniform resource locator. And these ones here, whenever we declare something about fonts, it will look into here and then it will let any fonts we have talked about. Sometimes we give in things like icons like now we have these icons here. Oh wait, we have these icons here. These ones you see, they will be defined in this file here. This one, the whole of these things. The ones that will have a definition for those icons. So when you move to that to go Font Awesome, you'll get icons. Now, for example, this one for Google Plus. This one is for Google. If you want to declare Google, a Google icon, this is what you call, and it will show. Okay. All right. And now, so we have different classes. We shall call these classes in our CSS different classes. We have now this one is for Fafa lock. The same thing I told you the other side. So we expect a lock here. This one, this one, this one here. So it is an icon. Once you don't relate it to where it gets the definitions of these icons, it will never put them. So you find that when we delete this one, the icons are likely to disappear because the icons are picked in using this link. So when we put it there and we come here refresh, then those icons will be available. All right. So we are going to start straight away. Now this one is a special one because it has some JS, some JS. Now this is a simple JS that hides the password. You click and it shows. So uh, shall when we come to JS, we shall explain ourselves about this one. But what we have to know is that this one picks the password, because when we declare the type of password to be password, then whenever you whenever you type, it will show the stars. Now what this JavaScript does is that it converts the type of password to text. Yeah, that is what it does. Simple. Eh, If password field is password, of course it is always password. Then once someone clicks in show, then it will change it to text. And when they click in hide, it will reverse it back to what? To password. Simple as that. This is the key. And this one now will never change. If you want to hide any password or show any password, you just copy this and paste it anywhere. Then you change the parameters. And now you see this thing dot pass key. You see a dot, it means that is a class. So when we come here, we must see a word pass key as a class. You see, so a dot is used to call a class. So dot pass key is what they are relating to, so that they can change the pass key. And the word show here is also defined up there, dot show, and it is the one that that when someone clicks in it, it shows and it hides. So the show is changed to hide here. The button that will be shown is either show or a hide. Okay, now let's straight away move to the style. So remember, we want to pick some fonts from googleapis.com, and I need to get that one. We don't need to type it. Let me find it, and we put it there. It must be in login 5. Okay, must be in login 5. So we need this thing here. Okay, so I close. So we need this. Put it in our chat here. Okay. All right. So when you move to this link, you'll be in position to see what it delivers. Okay. Now this is what googleaps.com delivers, and it is a defined CSS that helps us to style our form. So we need it because we don't need to write a lot of CSS, and this one helps us in that. Okay, back here. All right, so we shall start with defining our margins by saying margin. We put all of them to 0, and margin is moved with padding. So when you declare margins, you also have to care about the padding. So the other thing we need to do is to size this so that we have something like, okay, now it has gone to 0 0. So down here we have 0, and this side we have 0, and we need a border box around. So to declare a border box, a border around, we have to say boxes sizing, yes. So we need a border box, and that with that border box we don't need user select, so we declare reach to done. Okay, now the next thing we want to do, we want to first change this background, so that we now edit this one when the background is already there, and we make sure that the background does not conflict with what we are doing. So that is why we set the background first. Now is the need to call this one class big image. Okay, so we call the dot big img, and this is what we are going to edit. Now we shall get the background from some URL, and then it is bg.jpg. Okay, let me see if I've styled this very well. I think it must be, because it is passed on as a string, so it must be inside these quotes. Let me check here, bg-img. All right. Okay, let's see. All right. All right. So let's give it a weight. There is a problem here. Okay, let me first give it a weight of 100, and then let's see, style. All right. Okay, after I have given it a weight, a height, I need that background to actually cover the whole page, because here this thing is covering the whole page. So I need the background to cover the whole page. So what I do is I declare the size, the background size this one to cover. Now this statement means the background will cover the whole page. Okay, and need to center the background to we need to center it, and the keyword we use to center a background is a position, because the position can either be right, left, center, or top or bottom. So we need the position to be in the center. Okay, now I think let me go back to our file to click in it. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. So the other thing I will have to do, I'll declare what follows behind the background, but let me first test something here. These changes must have, we have declared the background and it must be working. But now this one is trying to defy. Let me remove these ones here. Oh, someone is saying share the link of the HTML. Now this one, it is actually this one. This is the link. When you click in it, you move. This is the HTML. Just come and copy it. The whole of this is the HTML. Simply click in this link. All right. You need to know why this one is failing. Why would it fail? Okay. I think there's something we didn't correct. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, this is it. And what we have created is this one. This is what we have created. So when we open this one, this is it. Okay, this is it. All right. Okay. So I move back to the CSS. Okay, it's okay. We continue. Uh, Now we need to define something, some color that will lie actually before. Let me see. Let me see this one. The background that will lie after. Okay. So what we do is we declare dot biggie. This one, and we want content that will lie after the background, and that content we want to position it to absolute, and we want it to hold no content. We want it to hold no content after. So here we define the after, and the content there must not hold anything. And if you put something like probably this, it means this will lie after this class. And if you declare it like that, then it means you don't have anything lie after that. So we need it to top. We need the 0 there, and top moves with the left. We are defining 0 values, and then we give it a height of probably 100, and with 100 it is always 100%, and height always moves with the width. Whenever you want to define the height of something, you move it with width. Even when you put width 0, it is okay, but it is important that you always relate the two. And we need a background there. We need a background. Give this the red, green, blue, and alpha. Now, when we are declaring these ones here, red, green, blue, and alpha, and you only want only one color, alpha, then what you do is you come to alpha here and put the number you want, and these ones you declare them as 0. So once you declare it as a 0, the colors move away. So we need something like a black, and you see. Okay, I need to. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, so I think it is working out. All right, so now let me go to the content. Where is the content? The content is right here. The content. So this, the whole of this division from here up to down here is what I'm going to edit. So I have edited the background first, and I'm now going to edit the content. Okay, right. So we expect that the word is here, but because we have declared this color, they are not seen. So let's go back to the CSS and we work upon the content. The content. The content we shall position it as absolute. So absolute takes in different parameters when you want something to position your content. So the moment you press position, it will give you, do you want it to be relative to the content, you want it to be static, you want it to be fixed, or absolute. So we want it to be absolute with our content, and to its top we want about 50%, and to its left we want it to span to also 50%. Want it to span to 50%, and we want to declare some z index about it, and we relate it to people 9. Let's see if these changes are being worked upon. Yes. Okay, now I think we are somewhere. I thought the changes were not working and I was going to wonder. So we need to align this thing to the center, and of course we put text align to the center. You can align to the left or to the right depending on what you want. Okay, so we also want to make some padding so that it looks like this. Now you can first give it a padding, because when you come to padding here, you can pad it to left, right, center. I mean left, right, bottom, and top. But now here we want to give it about 60 pixels and about 32 pixels, and we see, okay, it has gone there. Okay, now let's give it a width because we want it to flow to some direction, so we have to swing around with the padding and width so that we put it where we want it. So we need to transform it. We need to transform and translate it to -50% and also here we need a -50%. We see now it has come to absolutely like here. So the reason as to why we move to all these steps is that even when it moves to a phone, it becomes responsive. So it would be just simple declaring a div and then you put all things in the middle. But the reason as to why we swindle to all these angles is that we want to bring the responsive bit of it so that it becomes responsive. So we want to give this thing background so that now the background will be RGBA. We need to define the red, green, blue, and alpha. So we shall give it to 55 and then the same, then to 55 and have now this other one. No, we give it a 0.04. because it is sometimes not shown. Give it that. Okay, let me see. All right, now we have something like that, and we need to put a shadow, uh, box shadow, and that shadow uh, we shall define its size as 1 pixel, and then we give it also 4 pixels and 28. So here we are defining the box, the box. So we can give it, let me see. Okay, but this color here, I think the image, did we use a wrong, we linked to a wrong one? Because if I have, if this image was defined, okay, now let's relate to this other one, because if it has to pick the image from the internet, then we must know. Let's relate to this one, and we see if it has to pick the image from the internet, because it has no image, but there is that link for image. So content, and then as the image, this one. So I think it is picking it from the internet. Okay, display swap. It's the one we are having. Display swap. It is the one. Yeah, I think it must be the one. Okay. This thing, the image, why is it not working? Because we expect that it works. Expect that it works. We check now and we see, as we expect. It's okay. If it doesn't work, then we shall define our own then. Because if it has failed to work, we shall define our own image. We shall put in any image and then we use that. But maybe in front there might be a chance that we can define some colors that will act as an image. So we are still defining these pixels here. So here we can put about 28 pixels and declare 0 pixels there. So this means to the left, the right, bottom, and top. Whenever you see 4 things moving, then in CSS we have always the top, the bottom, the left, and right. And then with the colors, we always have the 4 combination of red, green, blue, and alpha. And those ones have to be defined in their order. Red, now this is denoted to red, this is denoted to green, and this denotes blue, and this one denotes alpha. So we need a color here also, and we need this one, and this one, of course, it gives you that. And what you do, these ones you don't like, you just remove them. And my interest is on alpha, so these ones I declare them as 0, and I want to make alpha 75. So I remove the other one and I get alpha. So we have need to edit the content of the header, content of the header. So what we do then is that let's first come and see. Head content, we have a header. So what we are going to work upon is now this one, the header, and the header resides inside the what? It resides inside content. So it is the one we are going to edit now. Remember we said ahead things like those ones are known, and that for it we just define header. After defining header, uh, give it a color white so that is seen. Okay, and we increase the font. So if you want to increase the font, the size, the reserved word is font size, and we give it about 33, and it becomes like that. And then we also work upon the font weight. So we can give it okay, let's give it 600 and we see. Okay, now the font weight acts as something like bolding. So these forms sometimes look nasty when we are editing them, but of course that is always how it starts. Even when you are building a house or anything, things start when they are very disorganized and you don't even pick interest. But once you have the design in your head, yeah, you just write things and they work out because you have a design. So we have declared padding so that we left, right, and then top so that it moves to the top to reserve some space. So the next thing we want to do with the header is to give it a font family. See now when you declare font family, there are very many font families, a series of them. There are very many. So we want I'll use this one here, family self. But now we want let me check here and we see. Okay, now let's also add this one, this other font for the mont slat. It's called mont here. Mont. Let's add it and it will work along with this. So now whenever you are not familiar with something, you point at it and you read the note they put for you about it. So this specifies a prioritized list of font family names or generic family names. And now when you come to this one, the same thing. So it tells you that these are fonts specifically, that is what it emphasizes. So we have given it something like that, and it is actually the same as now this one. I think it is the same. So we are done now with editing this one. The next thing is going here. Remember, step by step. So now the next thing we are going to, because we have edited this one, we have edited this. The next thing that lies is now this one. Now this one, it is holding the icon for user and where the user has to put the email or phone. So it is holding this one, email or phone. So it is what we are going to edit. Remember, I want to move in order. So because it is a class, we said dot field and then we open those curly braces, and we put the color to white so that we see those things. So that we see those things. Let me see. Mhm. Okay, field. I thought field is only occupying this, but I think field this has field. So see, this one is taking two classes. When you call field, it edits. When it's called space, it edits. Now the difference is this one might need custom editing itself alone. So if you want to edit itself alone, you call space, and space is not here, so changes will be applied on this. Okay, so we need the color, and we also need this thing to have font, reasonable font size, probably 30 pixels, 33. So you see how 33 makes it? What things are very nasty here. Shall we reach here? But we need to be fast so that we don't waste a lot of time. So now they are like that because we have increased the font. The other thing we have to do is the font weight, of course. Okay, may not need the font weight because when we put a font weight, it will become bigger. Let's just give it a height instead. Let's give it a height and see. Give it a height of about probably 45, and we see. Okay, let it be like that, and we also declare with this to 100. So 100 means that bijja expanding at 100 with it. We now also need to display them as flex, and I hope that is display flex. Display as flex. Let me see. How not? Okay. Okay. So we want to give them a background. We want to define some background. Now let me just pick some background up here. Let me take this one. I don't waste my time. I copy this one and I paste it here. Yeah, I paste it here, but I want alpha to be 94, and we see now. Okay, so it is like this, very nasty. Okay, now let me leave it at that, and I also work upon these spans, the fields, the spans, so that they can span and they come inside. Where are they? The spans here, the spans, control F spans. Yeah, this is the username and then the password thing, because we need them to enter inside. Let me give it a color. Now when we are declaring these colors, sometimes we use these codes, but these codes are over the internet. They are over the internet, and in the previous lecture we looked at how we can get them over the internet. You just put in CSS color for the background of Twitter, then it gives you the color code, and that is what we are doing. So you also need to declare a line height so that they are actually down there. Let's see. So they have come, but now we need to declare that now they follow this little thing of password. So let's try 45 and see. Okay, now they have actually tried to come in the same line. Remember, this is what we want. Now this one, at this point we can leave it at this, and now what we need to come to is now these input types. The input types. So when we want to call input types, you just type that. That is what you type in. But of course, we want the input types of the fields. Field input. So that is what we are editing. These input types, we need to first give them a weight, a height, so that they span up to 100%. And we give them a width. Height moves with the width. But this one, if we make it 100, let's see. Now they are nasty. We need to reduce this one to probably 45. Let's put 45 pixels, and you see the same thing. Oh, there is a difference. So we need to display them as flex. Yes, we need to display them as flex, and that display like that. The input. Input. No, I think this one does not need to display as flex. Let me see if we need to declare the flex. Let me see here. These are in flex to each other. No, here we don't need to display as flex. But let's try to give it a background of transparent, and you see, because we okay, transparent, that is what it does. And okay, now these ones here, these are borders. They are borders of the input, because an input must have a border. So we eliminate the borders by saying border, border none. So when you put none, then it means the borders are going to disappear, because those borders lie on the input fields. So the other thing we need to do is that we also remove the outline. We declare it to none, and okay. Now let me go and see about these colorings here. Okay, need to give it a color, but I think we give it this one now. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Good. It is the same as this one. As when you come and inspect this, inspect its CSS here. Let's find before. Is the style for it. These ones. Okay. All right. So this is where we are, and we are going to reach here. Okay. So we have declared the color, and now I think, let me see the size. This one. So this one is probably maybe 17 or 18 or 16. Let's check the font size. Okay, put the font size to 16 pixels. Let me see. Has it changed here? Yes, it has changed. Let me react to this. Yeah, I think it is almost the same. Also give the font family. Let me see this one. So the font family we are declaring is that family that will be when someone puts in something, that family, that the font that will be displayed when someone puts in something. So the font we are defining, like when someone puts in this, the font that will be used there is what we have defined. So you see, even these ones, they change to that kind of font so that when someone puts in, it follows the font of this placeholder. So now I think this one is okay, but now this one, let me see, how is it mapped? Hey, it is sure, but before this one, we need to change this one. We need to change the padding probably to the top so that this thing can have proper direction. So what we do is that dot space, because we said any changes we want to add to make on this one, we call this, because this one we have code and we have edited them, so we call this one. Now we want to give it a padding to the top, as probably give it 16 pixels so that it can span, and when it spans like that, yeah, we come to this to the one that now follows space is what is show. One that follows space is dot show. So we want to declare dot show. We want to give it a position as absolute. Now you can read about positions. We have absolute, we have relative, like that. So use them to position images and text and so on, and position a div and other things. So we give it its right about 13 pixels, and we also declare font weight and size. This is size. Start with size first. Let me see. Let me see here. Yes. Okay, we give it 13 because it is big and need to make it small. Give it and we need to make it small. So font size, we also need to give it a font weight, and font weight, let's try to give it about 700. Okay, yes, that, but Chelsea, let's give it a color. Give it this one. And we see, okay. Want it to display none, because why do you want it to display none? We want it that the moment someone, it is only triggered when someone starts to type here. Yes, because when I look at this one, it is not there. But the moment you click here and you start to type, it comes. And when you click in it, the password is, the type of password is put to text. And remember, text is just plain text, as you hear the data type text. It is always plain text. So we set it to hide here because we want it to be triggered under some using some function, and you want the cursor to be a pointer. So if you want the cursor to be a pointer, here you see the cursor is a pointer. When you change it is like that, and to hours it is just like this. So when we refresh, we come to it, it will now be a pointer. That is what we always mean by taking it as a pointer. So we need also need to give this one a font size, font family, but this is Poppins. There is one we declared already, this one. So use this one here. Use this one here, and now we need to change this thing here. We need to change something here. We need to change something here about about the passkey. The passkey is right down here. It is defined. It is defined in JavaScript, but it also exists here. So what we want to do with the passkey is that we want something to display when someone has clicked here in the passkey and has typed something. So in other words, we want it to display when someone has clicked the passkey. So that means that if the passkey is valid, that is what it means. So we declare a passkey and we put it to valid. So by being valid, it means it has some content, and we shall display it as block. So this means when someone clicks here and puts in something, that word will display as a block. The word show will display as a block. So the dot pass, we need this thing to text align to the left, text align to the left, and what is dot pass? Dot pass is right here. Pass, capital F, pass. The dot pass is right here. So it is what we are working upon. So the passkey is done. Now we are working upon the dot pass. So we have declared it that it moves to the left and it is there on the left. And then we also want to declare that probably give it margin margin on the top as 10 pixels and then 0, so that it creates some space there. And let me see. Okay, all right. So now this one has an anchor tag. So what we need to declare, where is the anchor tag? The anchor tag is right here. This one. So we want to define this, and we want to give it a color white so that it looks like now this one. Okay. So what we shall do, of course, we shall come and give it a color. The anchor tag, give it a color, just define color white, and then check it out if it is in white. And then we need to also remove that line, and that line is a decoration on text, so we declare text decoration as none. Why do we declare none? Is that we don't want anything there. Text decoration none. And the font family, it means the font family, but let's use this one. Let's use this one. And now the line has disappeared, and we have also changed the font family. So now we need, let me see if this one, when you come to this, now when you come to this thing has a hover. The hover is that thing that when you approach, when the pointer approaches something, it changes. So it puts an underline. Remember, we removed the underline, but now on a hover, we want to put it back. So dot pass, we want a hover on an anchor tag. This is what it means. You want a hover on an anchor. So this one is complaining because it takes that full colon, that hover. Full colon hover. So we need to bring now back the text decoration to underline, so that whenever we approach this, it puts an underline. So that is done, and I think it is the same as this when you approach this. Now the next thing we need to go to is this submit. Now this one, the login. Then the login, we need to give it a background. It has a background below. We need to put a border so that it lies like this. We need to change the font size. We need to make some letter spacings. We need to change the font weight. We need the cursor, when the cursor moves here, so that it shows a pointer. We also need to give it a font family. Only that. This is what it has been given. That is why it looks like that. Okay, so now this is a field, of course. We declared a field some time back, and why is it a field? Because it lies under this class field. It takes in a value login, but it is under class called field. So it is field we are going to edit. And inside field, we are interested on an input type. The type of that input is submit, sends data, and this is what we are interested in. The field input, the type of input is submit. So that is where our interest is. And the background, we need to put a background there, and I will specify a color, something like a blue, but it's here. Yeah, okay. Let me specify it using the 349. 349. These colors are always blocked here. 8 dp. So I will click in it. Okay, yes, we use that. And I also need border on it, a border on it, and that border should be only 1 pixel, and it must be a solid one. If you don't declare solid, it will never give you that border, because it must be a solid or underline or something like that, so that it uses those to define it. So when you move to different colors, I give you the order. Okay, 2691 D9. We terminate this. Terminate that. So we also need a color for it, and that color is tentatively white. So it will look like this. And let me check. Oh, yeah. Now what we need is the font size, so that it is big like this, and then let me see. Color white, and font size. Font size, we give it 15 pixels. Then say message here. Now I don't know what time it is, but we shall use 1 hour, and if it is already 1 hour, then we can cut it. Let me check. Oh my god, we have passed the 1 hour already. Okay, let's sum it up. Okay, we are going to end at 10:30, and that is 2 minutes from now. So wherever we shall end, we shall start from there. Thank you for that. Okay, now it is in white. We also need to declare the letter spacing. Give them 1 pixel. We distance them by 1 pixel. That is what it means. Let's give it font weight. Font weight is the same as bolding it. It becomes like that. Then we need the cursor. First, we need the cursor to be a pointer. The cursor, the cursor to be a pointer. Also need now font family. Let me choose this. Oh my god. We choose this. Okay, we have something like that. And yeah, I think it's the same. And okay, now we put a hover. Put a hover, and in the next session we shall edit the login, and then the links, the Facebooks, and so on. So we still have a longer way about this, but of course I think we shall end it next tomorrow. So by putting, we need a hover on this, so even when we copy this one, and when you copy this argument here, then when we copy this argument here and we put it here like that, now in the input field we need to edit a hover of this one, hover. So if it is the one we need to edit, we need it to behave in a way that it gives us another background. It gives us this one. So when you approach it, it changes. So I'll welcome questions in the next session. But as for now, we have actually taken some good time, and the major emphasis is about understanding these things. That's why I try my best to rush for the interest of those who are catching up and those who have already caught up upon logins. So that's why I actually try my best not to be rushing. And we refer to these videos so that where I've rushed, you remind yourself. Okay, thank you, and always inbox for any challenges. I'll be there to solve, and I'm sure we shall have a proper web dev team and programming team. Thank you for your attendance, and Masaka, kindly make a program. You'll ask me the day I provide, then we see how I fit there. As I move to Chetume, that is a big chance for you that side. All right, see you, and I declare the session ended for today, Tuesday 30th.